morning, welcome back. Academics Nadeska and Wayno here. Another day on Everyday Struggle. Thanksgiving holidays are coming up, so we're not going to be airing on Thursday, but we are going to be here tomorrow as well. Guys, how you doing?
Doing good.
Doing pretty good.
Heavy topics today, right? So we touched on 6ix9ine's arrest yesterday, and of course we got more details overnight. So there's a lot here, so I guess let's just jump in. So confirmed that 6ix9ine was one of 5 people arrested by the feds on Sunday night on RICO and firearms charges. Now, at least 2 of the charges he's facing could face up to a maximum penalty of life in prison. According to the federal indictment, 6ix9ine and crew conspired to commit a slew of crimes, including drug deals, armed robberies, and shootings as part of the 9 Trey Bloods. But what we actually found out more recently is that he was actually taken into FBI headquarters on Saturday for protection, right, academics? They found out that members of the gang that he had just cut off were trying to kill him. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess this came out in bail. So, I mean, the attorneys have way more information that we're getting. Mm-hmm. We're just seeing unsealed indictments and just documents online. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's 6ix9ine federal case. Like, you can't get in that court. You're not going to be taping stuff. So you're relying either on the journalists that actually have a seat in federal court, or you're going to wait till you see the documents. Now, when they tried to get bail, basically the argument was, hey, if 6ix9ine is a danger to the community, clearly he wasn't a danger when you guys brought him in and said, hey, listen, other people are trying to kill him. And we want to protect you that doesn't happen.
But he didn't want the protection, right?
Yeah, he signed a waiver saying, I'm going home. And when they figured out where he was going, because he was going to like a casino, they're like, most likely he was going to run into those guys. Mm-hmm. They picked him up then. So I guess that was them justifying why they arrested him on Sunday, and also basically saying they didn't want some incident to happen between 6ix9ine and other people. So that's the reason why he didn't get bail.
Okay. He offered to put up $1 million and his passport.
Yeah.
These charges are very serious, right? We've
Absolutely.
seen some people deal with some of these before. I mean, so let's go through them. So there's 3 big incidents, right? That he's like, there was a Casanova video shooting, a robbery, and a Barclays shooting. And the people who were arrested, one of them was rumored to be his former manager. Just what do you guys think? How bad are these charges looking? Do you guys think he might eventually take a plea deal to try to reduce these sentences? Or
first, I'd like to say that whoever's joking about this shit is very classless. Mm-hmm. You know, I see a lot of people like I don't know 6ix9ine. I never met him, but one thing I would not do is joke about a person's freedom. Yeah. You know, regardless to how I felt about how he moved, that's out the window. So first off, like, stop that shit, because it's not cool. Secondly, yeah, this is very serious shit. You know what I mean? This is very serious shit. And then when you look at it, it says that they started, like, I guess the investigation in 2013, right? If they started this in 2013, he's younger. I don't know if he's even doing any of this shit. So it seems like they're grouping him into something. It seems like
criminal conspiracy, right?
Yeah,
like, even if
like
they're saying he didn't pull the trigger necessarily.
But I mean, that's the whole thing about, like, guilty by association, like, where that comes into play. But yeah, it's very serious shit. I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do to get himself out of this shit, because it's like he tried to get bail, they denied bail, but they said originally that they tried to bring him in for protection. Right. But if they bring him for protection, I think that they brought him in trying to get him to roll, like trying to get him to tell, and he was like, nah, I'm out of here, and then they brought up other shit on him. So it's just it's really kind of confusing. This shit is like one crazy ass movie.
Well, the protection thing. And if that was the case, they wouldn't just announce that in court. But I actually believe the protection thing, because if you watch online, after that time that they announced that they brought him in, like, he was listening to "I'm Upset" by Drake, where the lyrics is like 50,000 on my head. That's disrespect. He's listening to 50 Cent, Many Men.
So he's still trolling during all this?
No, not trolling, but I guess that's him sending a subliminal message that maybe no one got, except the people who clearly were against him. So that's not trolling. That's literally sending a message to the people you know.
So then he wasn't worried. So if they're taking him for protection and he's doing that on social media, that means he wasn't worried about running into them?
Well, clearly he felt that he was safe without being protected by the FBI. And also, who knows if he wanted to be protected by the FBI, because when you start hearing that someone is being protected by the FBI, all type of things will go through your mind. But anyway, I mean, honestly, these are very heavy charges. This is what comes with being in a gang, yo. Like, the thing with hip hop is that if you rapping, I don't care any rapper, if you're rapping about drugs or you're rapping about gang and you're not talking about in the past, there's no rapper now that's rapping about shit. You know, and condolences to my guy Rollo, who just got locked up. But there's no rapper rapping about shit they're currently doing. That's not locked in. There's no famous criminals. You get me? So
you think he's surprised? So one thing I don't like, and I'll say that people try to somehow hold you accountable for this, even though you're friends, like you're not his babysitter, right? There's no way you can control what he does in the street. So that aside, knowing him, do you think, because of course you've mentioned to him that this is a bad idea, do you feel like any of this caught him off guard? Or did he expect it to happen at some point?
Nah, I didn't catch him off guard.
All right, so Ak, my question for you is this, right? My question for you is this. All right. A lot of shit, and I asked you before about like shit you post, right? And a lot of shit you said like, all right, it's somebody else, they already posted it, right? But do you think that brings like an extra light to it? If it's something, no, seriously, like.
But like what? I just don't like that people try to pin this on him.
I'm not pinning it on him. I'm asking him a question. Does he think that it brings more of a light to it? Because at the same time, it's a platform where if shit is going on and people are watching it, they could try to, like, if somebody posted something and they took it down, which I feel like nothing could be deleted, like nothing's deleted. But if they take it down and then it's on your page, do you think that plays into some of the shit that goes on? Only because we're seeing the content still stay there.
Well, I think that's the thought, but usually of an ignorant person, that the feds only like look at my page.
Yeah, not just your page. I'm just saying,
but like for example, 6ix9ine has 15 million followers.
Right.
Everything he says, like there's social media posts that's referred to in this indictment. There's a really longer form that actually the one that's published online, and most of it, 99% of it is from these individuals' accounts, whether on whoever's side where they're getting information from, or surveillance footage. Honestly, social media is not why he's here. Well, it is partly why he's here, but it's not everybody else. Like him being a great friend of mine, he knew the risks. You can't. I think when we feel bad for someone, right, we start looking to everybody else. Well, you could have helped prevent it. What about you? No, he knew the risks. He knew the risk. It was a high risk, high reward situation. The risk is, this shit never, there's no one that's ever, I had this conversation with him in February. I said, this is how everything ends. And he listened to it, and on a friend-to-friend level, because I can't tell him how to move, he said, yo, this is how I'm moving. And he agreed with me. The thing is, and this is me judging as a friend, when he decided to change, and even some of the things that I was telling him in terms of advice, I was like, you need to get security. You need to get security. I called his label to get him security. I'm like, yo, you came in running with these dudes. They're not securing, they're inciting.
Well, but see,
we need to get security. If you look at all the incidents he's charged from, they're all before when he got official security. There's nothing after he hired his first security team.
Yeah, but
I can't tell him, yo, don't roll with, because again, I met him with all of them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is I think with this whole shit is, he's a plate, man. Like he's a plate, and what I mean is like, what he did was whatever was going on, he gave it a face. Like he gave it a face. When whatever this indictment, whatever's been going on for years, when you start running around screaming and shit and all of that, and he basically promoted whatever was going on. So now he's knee deep. Like, I ain't gonna front, this is some movie shit. Yeah. Like, this is some movie shit, and you can't just get out of it. He's not gonna just get out of it. It's gonna be more repercussions for this shit, because he has to figure this out. I don't know how he's gonna do it, but he gotta figure it out one way, somehow.
Yeah, all I'll say is that, at least on a personal level, in communications I have with him, because again, and you remember, back to the conversation of yesterday, this is a racketeering charge. If I was super into his business and his money, shit, they might have charged me too. If they're saying the money is funding all of this.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons I was also telling you, I try to stay apart from some of that.
But all right, so the point that I was trying to make with you yesterday was not about you being into his bank account. It was saying, yo, you should, just advising him on, nobody can charge you for telling a person, yo, you should have a business manager or your business.
But do rappers always take your advice even when you're paying them to give it?
No. Rappers definitely take it. Rappers take advice. Everybody, not just rappers. People take advice from people that they feel are more successful than them.
But a lot of times they don't. I guess I just want to say, like, to his point, it's not, I get it. He posts some of this stuff and people criticize him for it,
Yeah.
but like there shouldn't be any fingers pointed. 6ix9ine is a grown man.
No,
He
I'm not
made those
pointing. I'm not
decisions.
pointing no finger at what I'm
even
saying.
giving advice, right? Like, and I hate using other artists, but like, I only use another artist as an example to show that it's not like he's the only one. You get me? And what I mean by that is like, look at like Kodak Black. Like Kodak Black, he had the same, like, he's a guy who he was more comfortable with the people that he grew up with or he relied on for whatever.
Yeah.
More than say I was like, yo, you should get this person, this for business, whatever. Those advices, like, that's simple advice. You should do this. But it's not gonna surpass or even it's not gonna affect him when he operates a certain way and he's comfortable with the people around him.
I'm not disputing that. My whole point, or what I was saying is this: if you know game, like, if you know game, if you have information that I can use, right? Any type of information that I can use, don't walk down that street. And that's a little bit like subjective, right? I'm not saying literally you telling him, yo, don't fuck with these niggas. I'm saying when it came to money, like when it came to money, I'm just looking at it from this standpoint. I don't know how y'all deal with each other. And it is tons of friends that do business together, and there's tons of friends that advise each other on financial shit. I'm saying, like, yo, if you're having money problems, yo, here's somebody that I know that can help shape your shit up, or somebody that could get this together. Now, it was said that he had a business manager. That's why I said I can't believe a person who has a business manager is not explaining the structure, because you're basically paying a person 5% to tell you how your money works. That's what people don't know. You pay a business manager to tell you, okay, here's a list of expenses, which ones you don't want to pay and which ones you do. At that point, you've already been past who's gotten paid. Because I've been a personal accountant for an artist before. Like, you go through that. But I'm saying, like, once you have a business manager, somebody could give you that type of advice. And I'm not pointing a finger at you to say, oh, you the reason why this nigga locked up. All I'm saying is that he should have taken some of the advice that you probably gave him. Or if you could have gave him something else, like, you should have taken it.
Trust me, I did. But again, you know what? And that's why, well, I think yesterday the conversation got really all over the place. Because I was admitting, he's not that knowledgeable about business. He's not. And I think your counterpoint was that he's plain dumb. My counter to that really was that, you know, an artist, he has to every day get up and be a star. You got to go record, you got to go do this, you got to do that.
Absolutely.
Now, he didn't have structure. I get he has a business manager, but there's no manager, there's no assistant. There's like 8 positions.
But
that
so
if you're a star,
who's the nigga that drives him around? Because he said that was basically his assistant. Remember the guy he was? I'm just going by. Look, I don't know shit.
It's hard to know fact or fiction.
Right.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. The driver, that's a whole other drama.
That's what I'm saying. He was saying that's his assistant. That's the one that takes.
He got fired. That's a whole other drama for some other shit. But he got fired. So literally, he was stripping people from around him for various reasons. A lot to do with trust. And that's why I kept telling you, it's about trust. Like, if you a broke kid that just came into business, yeah, I could tell you, like, yo, you should do this, you should do that. But at some point, you stop listening to the people about what you should do, and you start going with gut, because you don't trust people. And you don't trust people
then
because
you
think
so
you're doing.
loud at the same time while
You're
you're
right.
trying to figure out the stuff behind
No,
the scenes.
you're right.
You said that in those indictments there was a lot taken from social media, and I'm curious, like, did it say specifically what they took from his? Because Cardi, I was shocked when Cardi went on record. I believe it was GQ. She talked about being in a gang, but she approaches it so differently. She's like, here's the point where I got in a gang. I wouldn't advise anyone now to get into it, but this is my situation. But it's completely different from the way 6ix9ine like championed it publicly.
Go ahead.
So some of the social media stuff, right, is like, for example, in court, his stance, it seems, is going to be he's denouncing that he was Treyway.
But
right? Or when I mean Treyway, 9 Trey Bloods.
when he
9
screams
Trey
it on the
Bloods.
songs all the time, though.
Okay, so that's the counterpoint for the prosecutors, and they're saying, hey, well, we have these videos, and you're also doing it, and it comes from social media a lot. Social media and songs. So just like how they use songs, they'll try to use social media as proof.
They can use all of that against you.
Right.
I've seen prosecutors use people's lyrics against them.
And then in addition to that, they are the incidents that they're pointing at. For example, and I guess it depends on how deep you want, because I read all this shit. Yeah. For example, the Barclays shooting. They're like, well, the person we have on camera, we pictured, or we said it was him. Mm-hmm. You're kicking it with him on social media, recording a video right after. So that's why you're in on this. Another thing, a robbery, we have you and we found shit at your house. So based on all of that, where they use social media, like whether they were gonna say, hey, the desk, you're wearing that, and based on when the crime went down, yeah, we couldn't really see your face, but the person's wearing that, that's you. So again, they're using that to kind of document and kind of match up with surveillance footage. They have surveillance footage for everything.
Yeah, I mean,
But now they could tell what you're wearing because on that day you flexing on the gram, and it doesn't have to be on some incriminating shit. Well,
no,
sometimes
I mean,
it
you're
is.
on camera a minimum. You're on camera a minimum 8 times a day. Like everywhere you walk to, you're on camera. The whole thing about this shit is this, right? Because what was the question you were saying about like, all right, Cardi, as
Like,
opposed to
the way 6ix9ine
the whole
approaches
thing.
it.
The whole thing about gang shit is that you're supposed to transition, right? You're supposed to transition. There's a lot of people that rep gangs, rep neighborhoods, whatever the case may be. There has to be some sort of evolution, some sort of growth. And what I seen was last week him do an interview with the Breakfast Club, and now he wearing glasses and he's speaking for himself and all of that. Because I felt like, yeah, you felt them walls closing in. That's why you fired everybody. This shit is by design. It's not by coincidence. You get what I'm saying? So the whole shit with Cardi shit is that's not the line she was pushing. But you could go back to Cardi videos and see certain shit she was doing. But that's not who she was trying to push. And I said that he could have had them same affiliations without pushing that agenda.
Right.
Without pushing that agenda. Because end of the day, we know you more for the kid that got rainbow hair that wears the red flag, not the kid that wears the red flag that got rainbow hair. Like, you get what I'm saying?
And well, that is the very big distinction between what you think and what he thought. And shit, even kind of what I think. No matter, right now, this shit is gonna be the noose that hangs him. But to be honest, I don't think a Mexican kid with rainbow hair singing Gummo from New York, Brooklyn, pops off without that presence. It's just, again, as you said, it's when you transition out.
Okay, so so then shouldn't he have started sooner to transition out then?
100%.
He could
It was
have.
too late. It was too late.
But
And also, to be fair and very objective, I think once he already popped, he embraced some of the things that came with it. It's like having muscle. You start talking a little more crazy. Now you feel empowered by the entity that you should probably, if you're trying to be Cardi, you're trying to be these, but you just try to get, all right, I'm popping.
But like,
I'm moving left.
This is why history exists, right? Because you could look back and see that this never ends well. So it's like he thought this through and he was just like, cool, I'm just gonna keep moving this way anyway.
I feel like he had no choice. I feel like he was put in a position where it's a catch-22.
I don't know that you can say people don't have a choice. People always have a choice.
Well, wait a second. And what I feel like that is you do have a choice, but you also have pressure. And pressure regulates your choices a lot of times. And I feel like he was in a catch-22. He damned if he do, he damned if he don't. Now, getting this money, and you have the reason why you talking crazy, yeah, you could. It's very arguable that you could not touch this man in New York. I don't know about everywhere else, but you could not touch him in New York because he has certain type of people backing him, and you know they pedigree. But at the same time, you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
That's not something that comes for free. That's why I said when you were saying about his peoples, they was never his peoples, ever. They never liked. Nobody could tell me that people actually liked him as a person. I don't believe it. I don't believe that no niggas that was around him actually liked him as a person. I think that he was used. He was used because he was a cash cow. He's a cash cow. Wait, one thing about gangs is about manipulation. It's all about manipulation. Yo, I'm gonna make you do some shit that that I don't feel like doing. And I'll do it so that you can't question why I tell you to do something. That's all it is all manipulation. And he was being manipulated. That's it.
And that might be true, but I will say, if you're, again, it's hard to put yourself in a position where you've never been in. You're just only really, like, you maybe experience parts of it, but like for him, if you see a bunch of people who literally they're willing to risk their life for you, you might think that they actually love you.
They're not risking your life for you. They risking your life for the bread you provide. Nobody give a fuck about 6ix9ine.
Well, in the moment, even though that might be the case, you might think that's genuine love. That's why if you notice, when people started separating from him, the people he felt protected him the most and he felt would do the most for him, he thought those people had the most genuine love.
And that's why. All right, so that's why I asked you. And like I said, I'm not, because I got a lot of friends that did a lot of stupid shit in their lifetime, right? And I got homies that, like, after they came home from doing 10 years was like, yeah, I should have listened to you, right? But at the same time, I feel like if he should have had some sort of knowledge of, yo, these niggas don't give a fuck about you. Like, for real, you can't. That just goes to show that he has a low IQ. Because you can't possibly think that some dudes that you met over the past 2 years, whatever the case may be, that they just love you so much. They love you so much, or is it because you provide? You're a provider at that point, but they not loving you because you do shit with them. They loving you because what you could get from them. And when they can't get nothing off, they can't get nothing else for you, strike a match.
I don't necessarily think it means a low IQ, just off of this comparison.
But you said that because he don't have a GED, he didn't understand all these simple things.
Yeah, he wasn't his business literacy was very low.
Right.
Okay, he just saw money that comes in, money I should get, and he's not thinking about, like, again, you should have other people dealing with that because you're the star. But when it comes to what you just said, right? I don't say it's low IQ, right? It's just like watching, or maybe it is. So I don't want to say it is or not. But it's what when you watch every drug dealer movie, and everybody knows about the last drug dealer who was big and popping. He knew all the risk. He just thought that he would get out at the right time, or he wouldn't.
But that's what I'm saying. But if this indictment has been building since 2013, then whenever was the right time.
No. Well. Yeah, they could have attached him to the drug stuff, but, like, okay, he didn't deal with those people since 2017. So the drug stuff in 2015 or 16 as a legend wouldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Everything they really have him on is since he was, it's a big ass case. So whether he was with them or not, they're looking at it as 9 Trey Bloods. We got you doing some shit in 2013. We don't care if you only came in 2016, 2017.
He expedited. So question for you guys. When 6ix9ine first started to get hot, a lot of people didn't like him, right? And people took it as hate, but a lot of people just thought it would end either like this or very violently, right? But no one wanted that to happen, and yet here we are. On the flip side, there are the fans who always, like, they chill in the suburbs, they champion all the street shit, and then when something like this goes down, they could recede into the suburbs and just laugh because it doesn't touch them. Do you guys think this changes anything moving forward for that audience?
It never changes. It'll never change. That shit will never change. You wanna know why? Because it's like going to a fucking safari. Right, the hood is like a safari. Why do people go to Africa and go to safaris? Because they're like, oh man, like, look at that. That's amazing. Knowing that these fucking animals would jump on you and destroy you in a blink of an eye. But the allure and the rush of being able to see it and be that close. The music is what puts people that close. The interviews is what puts people that close. All of these things make people feel like, oh man, I know. And they challenge you and they challenge me and you and all of these different things about what we may know or not. Knowing that they will never in their wildest fantasies have to deal with some shit like that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that reaction came because people, especially people who have been in the industry, have seen stuff like this happen before. So it wasn't that they were just trying to hate on him and his movement. They just didn't want this to happen, and it's unfortunate that we're here now.
But I can't say that they didn't want it to happen because
well, maybe some of them did, the spiteful ones. But
I feel like when it comes to 6ix9ine, what was really shocking about everything with him is that we never seen nothing like him before, right? Like that picture, I looked at the picture yesterday. Remember I was saying the first time I seen him? I didn't even know that was Trippie Redd in the picture. It's Trippie Redd, him, and somebody else, and it became a meme, like, name this rap group, right? Trippie Redd is one of the top artists in the game. 6ix9ine became one of the top artists in the game. I don't know who the other dude is, but this shit is gonna continue because people are gonna champion shit that they don't want to be a part of. Like, it's like a movie. It's like really watching actors, but things get real, and when they get real, nobody cares because they get to go home and go to sleep at night. You see the kid with TK? TK's co-defendant, he just took a plea deal for 30 years. This kid is 21 years old. His mother went crazy in court. Took a plea deal for 30 years. But everybody know the race. Yeah. Everybody sing the race. It's such a dope song. And record labels, as soon as you get popping, they be the first ones to jump in line to sign on to some shit like that. You know, so I don't think it's ever going to end. It's never going to end. Like, people love gangsterism in America.
From afar. To watch from afar. Unfortunate. All right, do you guys have anything else to add, or do you want to?
I'll just act real quick. What I want to add is that this should be a lesson. Like,
whether, I don't know how he comes out of this, but this should definitely be a lesson to an up-and-coming kid that was watching his growth and watching the trolling and watching all these different things, because everything plays a part. Every single piece of this plays a part. I'm not blaming you for his shit, but everything, we all play a part in this, because it was like this car accident that everybody couldn't wait to see happen, no matter which way it went. And if you're a young kid that wants to be an artist, stay the fuck out the streets. Like, if you ain't built for the streets, stay on the sidewalk. That's all I got to say regarding that.
Honestly, like, I will say, this whole game with rap is risk and reward. Everybody has to make their choices, though. And you got to think wisely, whether you're thinking long-term or short-term. Right. Again, the guy who we talking about, shit, and that was one of his earlier defenses when people kept, yo, you do this. He used to say, yo, when I was fucking broke and hungry, none of y'all talk to me. Y'all ain't say shit. So don't say shit when I'm actually making some money now. So this was a kid who felt like he had nothing. And for him, all this risk was worth it. Yes, the reward is, yeah, he got really famous and he got rich, but there are consequences. You have to balance both of them.
Right, is again, that huge reward
that's
for
why,
a year and a risk of spending the rest of your life.
Yeah, and that's why, I love that kid. That's my nigga. Yeah. You feel me? But you know what? Like, getting this, like, it's something, it's not like I'm like, oh my God, I never knew it was going to happen. It's like he made his choices, and for everything he got that was on the upside of it, this is what comes with it, and you have to deal with it. You know, you gotta handle consequences like a man. So again, as we sit here, you know, some people are really sad, and shit, I'm a little sad too. But
it's your friend, understandable.
But I have to kind of balance it out by saying, these are the decisions that got here. Yeah. You get me? Like, you don't get to just enjoy all the plus sides and this doesn't happen, because if most of that stuff you did to get all that plus side, this wouldn't happen. So, you know what I mean? It's risk and reward. And for artists coming up, whether you're going to get into the street life and push that through the music and then try to enforce it, or try to do whatever that fans could look at you like, oh my God, you have to realize what the consequences might be. If it's worth it, if this was worth it, do your thing. Because everybody gonna make their own decisions. You don't know what situation. Somebody might, his thing was that, yo, I couldn't buy my daughter diapers. Right. So it's the same with 50, but 50 was very different.
I can't stand when you say that, man.
No.
Only because it's no. 50 is.
He started, his album was Get Rich or Die Trying.
Bro, it's totally different than a 50 Cent, bro.
No.
Totally
I'm only
different.
talking about that mentality to say, I'm going balls to the wall. I'll risk it all because I want the reward. Now, again, it's like, I keep saying, it's like watching a drug dealer movie, man. Everybody wants to get out before the feds got everything on you.
But no one ever gets out on time.
But no one ever does. But when you're the new guy who's doing your thing, I'm definitely going to get out before. I learned from that stupid motherfucker. But it doesn't really happen like that ever.
Ever.
You get me? So it's just making those choices. And again, 6ix9ine wasn't the first that we've seen blow up and then the law took him down. He won't be the last.
Even when you try to get out like Stringer did, your crew could bring you down.
Yeah, and we could sit here and be like, don't do this, don't do that. Somebody, you don't know what their situation is, and they might make their choices. Just know that you're making your choices.
No, you just know that. Stop hanging. Like, listen, man, these motherfuckers is not your friends. From the streets to the industry, streets don't love nobody. The streets do not love nobody. And like you said, I mean, my whole thing is that you got to stand on what you say. You got to be a man and all that. This is some gangster shit. Yep. Like, don't get it twisted. This is that gangster shit right here. And when gangster shit happens, you got to stand up and be a gangster. So the thing is that you see that being a gangster ain't that cool. If you're a young kid out here and you watch us, just know, like, my dealings in the street, I would never sit here and act like I was a tough guy. I've had tons. I got friends in prison for the rest of their life. I got friends that did 10 years and 5 years and 14 years, all types of crazy shit. It's not cool. Because you know what all my friends came home and said? Man, I wish I'd have never did none of that shit I was doing. Yeah. So it's like, if you're a kid that watches us, just understand that this shit, it don't pan out. It's like a candle in the sun. It does not pan out. It don't go well. So go to school, do what you got to do, get your GED. Like Axe says, you need a GED to understand business.
Hey, you can understand business without your GED. Just gotta, street smarts is a thing. It exists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but there's a lot of, this business shit, is a
All right,
lot
get
of...
your GED. Get people around
Get
you
your
who
high
can
school
advise
diploma.
you. Do some research.
Get
There's a lot you
everything.
can do.
listen,
Get everything you're supposed to get.
No, in real life, you don't need a GED as long as you got the smart motherfuckers around you to
Yep.
do it. But if you want to do everything yourself, nigga, you better be smart your damn self. You better know how to do every single thing in regards to paperwork, business,
Yeah.
dealing with money your damn self.
Well,
If not, you better hire the nigga who know how to do it. Then you can just be dumb.
Well,
you can just chill.
to the big, because you know it was a lot on social media between us yesterday. Like people was trying to pit me against him and him against me and all these
Yeah,
different
as
things.
always.
But the thing I would say is this, right? And this is regarding friends, right? Because I feel like there is a lot of friends that do great business together. It's a lot of examples that we could use. I feel like if you do have friends, and this is not to you, this is just in general, if you do have friends and you are knowledgeable about certain things, make sure that you advise them. That's it. Like, just make sure you advise them. Now, everybody not going to listen. I know this for a fact. I didn't listen to a lot of shit. But make sure that you advise them the best way you can if you give a fuck about them.
PSA from the crew. All right, guys, we'll stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But again, yeah, so we're going to be off for Thanksgiving. We're doing 2 episodes today. I'm just going to be honest with you. So if there's a development,
I'm about to change my
you
clothes.
won't hear
I'm about to
about
get fly
it here
again.
until
I
Monday.
just want to add one thing too, because I've talked to a lot of people. I hope, well, I don't know if the public will see this part, but you get to realize who was really only there for the check and who really cares.
Which is most people always.
When some shit like this happens, when shit like this happens, who's checking on the mom? Who's checking on the brother?
Yeah.
Who's checking on the daughter? Who's checking on the baby mama?
Listen.
And who is just like, wait, so you telling me he can't make next month where I'm gonna get a bag? These people are cancerous. I was utterly disgusted when talking to people who they would act like, oh, is he good? So is it a
About that money.
possibility?
About the money.
It was utterly disgusting. And to your point, it shows how many people, and shit, he might have smiled and wined and dined and hung out with them, or shit, been with some of them, and if sometimes it was females, and he probably thought it was really like, yo, they love me. But it was all because he was here, they were there, they wanted to get money to get there. It was the most, some parasite shit.
Yeah, now, Rashid,
and for those people, fuck you.
I mean, you know how I navigate through the industry, and I have this ideology I always live by. I say, or a mantra, is it called a mantra? I live by is, a lot of these motherfuckers will not be at my funeral. Like, seriously, a lot of these people will not be at my
What did
funeral.
Drake say? He doesn't want them at his funeral being fake either.
No, but that's real
Keep
shit
the circle
because
real small. Only fuck with the people who were there when you were nothing, because those are the ones who are gonna be there when shit gets bad.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I mean, the thing is that, like, you know, you gotta know, and unfortunately, this young man didn't know, but, like, you gotta know who you are, and you gotta know what means something to you. You really got to figure out, like, who's your fam, like, who's your peoples, who's your fam, because all of these other motherfuckers, they love 6ix9ine when he do all the stupid shit, when he yell, when he disrespect people, all that, it was cool. But now, trust, if majority of people that could even put something on his books, if he has to go to jail, ain't gonna put nothing on his books, they ain't gonna visit him, they ain't gonna write him, they, like you said, they not gonna do nothing for his mom or his child or nothing, because they gonna say shit. I didn't tell him to do that, like, that's the excuse.
Listen, I was just disappointed with the people who got money with him. I never got no money with 6ix9ine. He was just a friend.
Really?
No.
And never get no bread together?
No.
Wow.
No. You get me? That's the misconception. Like I was managing or I'm getting like a percentage. Never that. It was just genuine. That's the homie. But, and also like.
So my question is this. What made you want to be homies with him?
He's the only genuine rapper who respected media.
Really?
Nigga,
The only genuine rapper that
only
respected
one.
media?
You know what? You give niggas a start, and as soon as they get to, we talked about this.
Facts.
As soon as they get past the point they need you, fuck you.
Yep.
But
At every-
I guess people
yeah,
that
hold
fuck.
on.
But I guess people that fuck.
Okay,
with you.
wait, let's not waste
wait,
time
wait,
on.
well, I gave him the first interview when no one would talk to him.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Before he ever went to the Breakfast Club, anywhere else, he hit me say, yo, should I? And if I ever said no, he wouldn't go.
All right.
But he respected the fact that I was the only one who would talk to him when no one would. That's big. Genuine people, I like that.
Okay.
Yo, side note, Ak, I feel bad that like you're having a hard time this year with your rap friends, with like X and 6ix9ine. It's like as much shit as we talk, no one ever wanted to see any of these stories sort of end this way. So
It,
sorry you're going through it.
it's
bro.
unfortunate, you know. I'm learning to deal.
Yeah, we got you, bro. All right, let's do one more story before we get out of here. Tory Lanez, back to some music. Tory Lanez just out here talking shit on Instagram Live.
I love it.
Saying that he can out-rap or go bar for bar with Kendrick, J. Cole, and Joyner Lucas. You're crazy because you knew Joyner Lucas was going to answer. So someone asked him when they brought up K-Dot, he said he's very successful and creative. But anyway, let's take a look at the video.
I mean, Kendrick Lamar is successful, my nigga. Don't get me wrong. He's very successful, very creative artist. You know what I'm saying? Very creative. Do I feel like we can go head to head? 100%. 100%. On all levels, on flow, on pockets, on everything. The Joyner kid, he's nice. He can't fuck with me.
Scroll.
Not on no level, period. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so Joyner doesn't play. So he got on, he said to Tory, if you're not willing to step up and accept my proposal, don't ever say no silly shit like bar for bar, Joyner Lucas, and et cetera, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yo, you know what's missing? You know what's missing in hip hop right now? Like the records that have like 4 people on them and they just rap. Like we don't get that as much as we used to.
That's funny because that's one of our fan questions we've been getting. Like, why don't people jump on the same track anymore?
Because and I always say this shit. The bar is set so low, but I'm not mad at Tory Lanez for saying that because I feel like any artist or any rapper who does this should really believe that they're better than everybody else in order to reach the highest level that they can. Shoot for the moon, you land amongst the stars. But
hey, wait, no, answer the question. Stop circling around here, bro.
Can
he go bar for bar with Joyner, Kendrick, or Cole?
Oh, no. Kendrick Lamar is my fucking favorite rapper. Like, Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper, and I feel like people play the safe game with him because they really don't want no smoke with him. But you say, is it Kendrick,
Cole, and Joyner Lucas?
I feel like he could keep up. I don't know if he could go. I feel like if Tory had to be on a record with Joyner, Kendrick, and Cole, he would have like an arguable verse, but I don't know if he would have the better verse.
They'll probably put him on the hook too, right?
Nah, ain't gonna be no hooks. We need records like that, like
Just
Reservoir Dogs with no hook,
Okay.
24 Hours to Live with no hook. We need shit where niggas just rap. Like Control. Like, remember Control?
Yeah, remember what happened after that? People are in their feelings for years.
But we need that. Like, we need that shit.
But
that's what hip-hop is based on.
The funny thing is that question about why don't we get all these heavy hitters on one track together, it feels like Control splintered a few of the people who would have actually, like, collabed together.
I feel like these
Am I
niggas, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of these niggas, after that happened, they clutched their pearls and was
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I'm not doing records with these niggas. Like,
pretty whack.
No, but I mean, when we talking about what we love in rap and what we love in hip-hop, take all the sales, the endorsements, all that shit out of it, I love to hear a great verse. And I know you like to hear a great verse too, right?
Hey, Tory called me last night at 4 a.m. and I don't know if he was trying to just talk about 6ix9ine's, bro. Maybe he was trying to tell like, yo, 6ix9ine good. Or maybe he was like, yo, I seen you post that shit that Joyner did. I'm gonna kill that nigga. Yo, Tory is an amazing rapper. I still think he's underrated. I think people really don't, because of the singing stuff and he does a lot, you get me? Like, he's a hook master. But I think people really sleep on his rapping ability.
He can rap.
And I want to give him credit for that, but I then want to say, Tory, I don't know if you can fuck with Joyner. Joyner, to be honest, Joyner got on my radar by just getting on niggas' beats and just like getting at them. So again, because that's how he got on my radar, I'm going to give him an edge if y'all got on the same song together. Do I think Tory could rap with Kendrick or Cole? I'm going to also say no. And what I mean by no is that not like he's not in the same realm, but I think that's a different tier above you. Still doesn't mean that Tory Lanez isn't an amazing fucking rapper. Word. And to be honest, I'm not mad at what he did.
But you think it's all right, so
hold on, wait. I'm not mad at what he did because you gotta get a competition up, man. Like, enough of holding hands, get a competition up. However,
what was the proposal? Did Joyner
Lucas always built for smoke.
So question then.
You have to, now you gotta do this.
Okay, that's the thing.
You gotta do it.
Is he on the clock now to drop something?
No, he gotta hit
Tory dropped the song 5 o'clock this morning.
What was the Joyner Lucas challenge?
Yes, he dropped
Maybe that's
what going
Nigga, you ain't just, all right. Before,
wait, he didn't say that when he called you.
All right, wait.
I saw it, but like I was kind of like half dozing
So you know we be sitting here bullshitting on our phones before we start.
Yeah.
Tory dropped a record like 5 o'clock this morning, nigga.
Missed that.
Rapping. That's what I was listening to. So look, this is what I feel like, all right?
All right, so we got to play that for the next episode.
Because my dream, and I said
I low-key want to call Tory right now.
Call him.
All right.
Put him on FaceTime. We know you love
I
FaceTime.
would, but my phone's in the green room. If somebody bring it, I'll call him. Like, Tory, what the fuck going on?
So look,
Have we ever called somebody live?
We
should.
We can do whatever we
start
want
doing
here.
shit like
If
that.
somebody bring my phone, I'll call him.
Yeah, we got another episode in like 20 minutes. I got you.
But
I would love for this to be live.
what I feel like when it comes to Tory, right? I feel
It's
like
my red
Tory.
phone.
I feel like Tory could keep up. Now, now, do I think that he's on the level of a Cole and a Kendrick? Nah, but I feel like that nigga could keep up because he could rap. He can do it, but he's underrated. And I think, remember we had that branding and presentation conversation because he does this melodic and soulful shit, and he does
All right,
Spanish
enough of that.
shit.
What does he have to do now to change his perception?
We gotta listen to that song.
Let's
We
listen
gotta
to
listen to that song.
And
We
let's try
gotta
to
listen to that
FaceTime
song.
him.
Okay, but beyond that, he need to get at this guy.
Jordan Lucas?
Jordan Lucas is at everybody's neck.
Yeah, because he
Does
can
wanna
fucking
step
rap.
into
I
this,
know he
though,
can.
with
He
Jordan
can rap.
Lucas?
But that's what I'm saying. Why you throw his name out there?
That's not, could
Like,
this end badly
yo,
for
No,
him?
I think
There's
because somebody
certain
said, no,
people
somebody
I
said
like,
it. Somebody said it on his live.
I get it. But still, if I'm him, I don't see it. I don't see what? Listen, it's like being in the early 2000s. If I'm like, man, I'll rap any of these niggas out here. Who wanna like battle me? If I seen the fans say it was Insta Live back then, everybody spammed the game, I was just ignoring. That nigga raps all day. He would drop 1,500 bars on
Yo, you gotta
But
be
see, but-
strategic as fuck.
But
No,
you know,
seriously,
but you know
though.
what I love about the game in the early 2000s is because we did it through the music. It was like, okay, you had Dipset, they have their record with all of them going, and you have State Property, you got The Locks, you got Boot Camp Click, you got all of these people that do their shit, and they just challenge each other by rapping because everybody had to listen to the next Big Mike or the next DJ Envy or next Clue CD. So now, being that Tory, because Joyner made this whole challenge that's never gonna happen. Joyner, you working on your album. Tory, you're always working on albums.
not gonna lie.
Make
One
a
thing
fucking
though-
record.
one thing
And
though-
everybody get on it and talk shit.
Okay.
Tory is very competitive. Competitive
Oh,
in
we've seen
everything.
it. We've seen
Yeah.
the proof.
He's competitive in everything.
Basketball,
and he's one of
hockey.
those
Love
guys.
on you backstage.
Yeah.
Air hockey.
He's one of those guys that even if, like, I think the more we say, yo, bro, you don't want to with Joyner, you're gonna get washed.
Yeah.
It might actually fuel his ego to say, what are you talking
Let's
about?
go then.
I feel
Let's
like
get it.
Joyner, and I seen it in his post, I feel like Joyner was like, oh, this nigga's crazy. Like, he's crazy playing with me like this.
All right, but let's be honest though.
Right.
You see, we gotta have rules. The first thing when I was reading, I was like, oh, we gotta have some rules. Because are we doing, niggas love recording verses, re-recording verses. I heard this shit, oh, hell nah, I'm going back to record mine.
Oh, yeah, no.
Is it like, you send yours, you would have to, it has to be some arbitrator.
we need like a mediator for this.
No, we don't need
Both
none
of
of that.
y'all
Act.
send it.
No, act.
Y'all
no.
flip a coin for who goes first.
No, act. We're not doing none of that. They not doing that.
Don't tell me we go in the basement and freestyle.
No. We're not
You are
freestyling.
out.
No. We're not doing that.
Smack.
Act. This is what we do. Niggas got budgets, man. Let's set up some studio time.
What?
We all, no, everybody's working on, because honestly, this is not no shit when Joyner is like, man, fuck Tory Lanez, and Tory Lanez like, fuck Jordan Lucas. It's not that realm. Yo, y'all both working on projects. This is shit that we need in hip hop. Yo, how about next time Joyner is in New York or Tory's in New York, get in the studio. Call Don Q, call G Herbo. All y'all get in there and give y'all 4 best verses and just put it out. That's it. We don't need nobody. We don't need rules. We need niggas that just rap, and they ain't gotta go at each other. They just gotta come up with the best verse.
Okay, okay.
We need that.
I agree if they were in the same studio session, but I just feel like now we're in the age of like, all right,
Too much
dog,
digital shit. Too much digital
just
shit.
send me the track that you made with your verse that you think gonna outdo mine,
Nah.
and I'm gonna work on my shit for like 3 whole
Listen,
weeks.
Let me tell all of the fans or supporters and watchers how these artists do shit. You never send an artist that you want on the track your verse. You never do that. You want to
Send
know
the
why?
hook.
You don't even send them the hook. You just send them the beat. Send them the beat. You want to know why? Because motherfuckers get intimidated. You get that verse back and be like, oh shit. A big debate that we had like years ago was the Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe shit or whatever. And it was the whole thing was like, all right, Kendrick's verse was amazing, but is Kendrick's verse amazing because he had whole verse and he's sitting on it for like a month and he's like, nah, I gotta change this. Nah, I gotta change that. Nah, I gotta change this. So don't send nobody the verse, just send them the beat.
In Kendrick's defense, right? That
Did
was like a nice. That was like
did
a nice
Kendrick
gift
get-
from his team. It was like a moment for him. They
It was
wanted
a
it to be a
crazy
surprise.
moment.
They wanted it to be a surprise.
Yeah, it was a
so
crazy
there's
moment.
that.
Did Kendrick write his shit after he got Jay
Oh,
shit?
I thought you. Kendrick and Wright, don't put that in the same.
No, I'm saying, did he write like?
Yeah, 'cause
maybe his shit was done.
I
It
think
was
he,
like,
no, I think
plug
he
and
wrote. I
play.
think he wrote the last verse. Because his
So on
last
my
verse.
toes, like I was Black Swan, whatever.
Yeah,
I think he
that
added
last verse. I
after.
think he wrote it after, but it's like the whole
Hey,
debate
it was a gift. I remember this. It was a moment. They wanted to surprise him.
But the whole debate was like, did he? How many
do
times
we
did
want
he
to
go
redo?
over that verse?
All right, y'all. Okay. All right, we gotta go.
We never
but
asked Kendrick that type of question.
No,
like,
we
I feel like
didn't.
every rapper answers that question.
how would you phrase this question to him?
Nigga, you ever heard a verse that you said,
just
shit, I
ask
gotta
Dave
go
Free.
back?
Wait, listen, I'm gonna call Dave Free.
You know who said,
Dave.
remember when we had ASAP Ferg? He says, just out of principle, he never does that.
Yeah.
You know, and some other people says, nah, sometime I gotta go back and do it. I think it depends on the MC.
Yeah.
I wanna know what the MC that K-Dot is. Like, are you going back or you stand on your shit? You get me? You never know. It might.
I'm not a rapper, but if I was and you do a verse better than mine, I'm going back. Fuck that. I got the opportunity.
No,
like
but
One
imagine
Tree was
if
the
he
next
says,
song
yo,
that
listen,
was
every
like a
verse
big
you've ever
thing.
heard, I've never went and redid
Rewritten
nothing
anything.
back.
That's
Which
amazing.
Means, yeah, that means everything he put out at first, he's dropping 30. He's dropping 30 all the time. Because
That's why
there's
we
nothing
need that.
he got embarrassed on.
That's why I need. See, this is what I'm saying. That's why I need that Drake, Kendrick, Cole, and Meek.
On the same song?
On the same song.
How many years
Did
till
Jay
that
go back
happens again?
on Renegade or like?
You said what?
Did Jay go back on Renegade or did he just let?
I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did. But I'm just saying, like, because when we got fucking like Blackout from DMX with the Locks and Jay-Z, I'm pretty sure that it was just like, yo, we gonna do this right now. Like, we gonna do this shit right now. So we need those type of collaborations. Nobody charge each other. Like, nobody
Too
send no
many
invoices.
feelings.
No,
Feelings
we
and
gotta take the feelings out. We
emotions.
need, all right, it is feelings and emotions, but we gotta put that into the music again.
All right, Wayno. Wayno for the people.
Drake
I'm for the
feelings
people.
Off of Kendrick mentioned his name in Control. They in a studio and Kendrick is rapping this double tap. Ah, hell nah, nigga.
We
I
gotta
might
go.
walk out.
We
Peace.
gotta go.
We gotta go. Let's get ready to FaceTime Tory. Let's see if he'll actually be up for a second episode. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. on Complex News. And again, we're not on Thanksgiving. Don't be mad at us. We just want to be home with our family. We love you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Happy holidays, y'all.
Hey, turkey?
Nah, fuck that chicken. Turkey's so dry.
Oxtail.